All right, ready?
Let's do it.
We're back home. Grab your shoes, kids. Hop out of the car. We're back.
They slept the whole way.
Yeah, you slept all the way from Grandma's house. We're back home. We're back in the studio.
Feels good.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like how we were across the table from each other.
Yeah, I think we'll get a new table.
I'm going to IKEA next week.
Oh,
I think I'm going to get, because I want to get a bookshelf, because I destroyed mine by accident.
I need to get a bookshelf also.
Yeah.
I keep all my books on the floor. I look like a mad scientist.
Do you think that's a sign of like adulthood, is like having a bookshelf?
I think so.
Because you accumulate so many books like growing up.
You do,
and just like in your life.
Yeah.
Because, here's some, I was actually thinking about this the other day, because I was on a walk and I saw, you know, like those, like public libraries, they're like little boxes on walks.
Oh yeah, like the little like take a book, leave a book sort of thing.
Yeah, those are always like pretty fun. But what do you do like when you're done with a book? When you like you yourself?
When I'm done with it, like personally, when I'm done, I just keep it. I leave it unless there's someone I can hand it off to. But I usually only hand the book off if I have like an extra copy of it. Like I gave away all my paperback Harry Potter books to someone who was going to read them. And I was like, you could keep them because I got a whole hardcover set for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, you can keep all my paperbacks.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I know people who, like, once they're done with the book, they give it away to whoever wants it.
Yeah.
Or, like, if it's, like, sell it to Goodwill, or you don't sell things to Goodwill, right? You just give it to Goodwill.
Yeah.
Yeah. People who just, like, are like, all right, I'm done with it. Let it be free. But I think it's a real sign of adulthood, getting, like, a bookcase to store all your crap, you know?
Yeah, it's funny. When I was cleaning pools, this seems to be a trend. I keep talking about this. No, there's this one pool. They had that book thing in front before you entered the pool, though. They had like the leave a book, take a book thing. Mm-hmm. But also inside, they had a bookshelf like out in like a walkway by the bathrooms.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, back to when I was cleaning pools, when I was done with the book, I would just chuck it in the pool.
Okay.
That's when I was done with it.
I would just throw it in the filter to see what happened.
I ruin all my books after I'm done with them, so no one can ever read them.
I keep the knowledge up here, and then I destroy the book.
Are you like the president of the United States, where everything you touch that has your DNA has to be like disinfected?
They burn it.
And like your dookies.
Someone goes and picks that up.
Yeah, so they can't clone you. Yeah. Which is such a... You know, a president definitely made that a rule. Because like some guy was like, oh man, they're going to clone me.
$20 was Nixon.
Yeah, okay, so like, probably.
They're going to take my duty.
But like, what would you do if you had like George Washington's like shit and you could clone George Washington? You get a baby George Washington. Or not George Washington, George Bush, sorry. Or George Washington, you know? But what would you do with that? Like, you just have a baby?
Do we just groom? Are we just assuming that he has the same qualities that he did as an adult, and we're just going to groom him to be like, like a villain?
So you groom him for 44 years of his life to become president of like the United States? It doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
Oh, do you know how? We'll get to it. I don't want to jump all the way ahead, but do you know how in Invincible, Immortals Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah.
What if they make what if like they clone like George Washington and make him a supervillain, and then he has to fight Immortal?
I think it would kind of ruin George Washington for me.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean in the show or in real life?
In the show.
Oh, that'd be cool. I thought you meant like in real life. What if they clone?
I don't mean we time travel and we make George Washington and Abraham Lincoln fight to the death. No.
It'd be kind of cool though. Like presidents who were like shitty. Now that those are probably like the two best presidents.
That's
right?
for free, Robert Kirkman. You don't even have to pay me.
But like if we took like Nixon, Nixon's dead, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh god, he's
dead. Yeah.
Okay. If we took like Nixon and Andrew Jackson, and we made him like fight to the death.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we're going to combine them genetically to make like the worst like human being.
Oh no, I was thinking more like fight to the death. We call it like the Watergate Trial of Tears, like Watergate Trial of Tears, a night not to miss, and then Jake Paul is like the opening fight.
Yeah.
For it. That'd be cool. I'd pay for that. I'd pay pay-per-view for that.
That'd be what? Yeah, we got to get to the point where we can clone people from the past and make them fight to the death now. That'd be cool to watch.
Yeah, I watched this Vsauce video recently about do you see his new video he put up?
No.
It's about like reasoning.
Are we getting close?
Well, he was saying like his whole thing was like he's talking about like reasoning, why we come to conclusions, even though they're like most of the time they're not based on logic. We've already figured out what we want to think about something before we hear the facts, just so we have like a hunch about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, if we can figure out a way to get past that as a society and figure out how to make like government and stuff more like logic based and less about like our feelings, there's a possibility that like future civilization that has like control of quantum mechanics will want to bring back the humans who were the first to pioneer that for like any issues they might have. And figure out how to do it.
Like future people would want to clone us.
Future people would bring us back from the dead. Essentially, was what he was saying.
Be like, okay, we need you to settle this for us.
Yeah, and then we'll kill you again.
Is it tomato or tomato? Thank you. Bang.
Yeah. Can you imagine like you die and like there's nothing, and you don't realize there's nothing because you don't feel the passage of time. But then so you die, and all of a sudden, whew, you wake up. It's like 3,000 years in the future.
You're covered in like purple slime. And you're like, ah.
And they're like, success. Was it tomato or tomato?
Yeah, they're like, oh, thank God. Mr. Missler.
That's like their way of flipping a coin in the future. They bring you back for like a second, and then they just put you back under.
Like, oh, thank God. Okay. Yeah, tomato. Okay. Kill him.
It's over. Damn. That's some Bill Gates shit right there.
Have you ever seen Bill Gates? Have you ever seen Altered Carbon?
Yeah, the first season I watched that.
It's kind of like that, where like if you download your consciousness into a chip, they like unplug you and then they'll like pop you back in.
Well, isn't that they're in the cloud? In Altered Carbon, isn't there like a cloud service that like streams your consciousness? So when you die, you immediately go into a body that like it's like a constant stream.
You don't always go into a body. It's only if you can afford a body.
Oh yeah, and the other people have the chip, and then later on,
the main character was a terrorist, and he was in. They determined that if you're like jail is like they pull your consciousness out, and then like they keep you like in a file, and then like they'll leave you there for like 500 years or something like that, and
That's
then
scary.
They'll pop you back in eventually
if they need you.
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates are no more.
So what are you gonna do to woo her?
Did she get any of his money?
I assume she gets half.
Is it like a Jeff Bezos situation?
Well, they have the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So she's already tied to his money in some aspect.
I can't wait to read the book to see what weird shit Bill Gates does.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, he made me.
He would jump over chairs all day long. You ever see that video?
No.
Oh, it's like a young Bill Gates.
Oh, he's just jumping over chairs?
It's like when Microsoft, I guess he wasn't really like that young, but it's like when Microsoft was taking off, like, and they're cool, like CEO Bill Gates. And he like just has a bunch of chairs stacked up and he like jumps over them. You never seen this?
No.
Oh man, it's fucking wild. And it makes me realize he's a cool guy. But yeah, I mean, I assume she has to be tied to his money somehow, right?
Probably. Because if that's the case, then I'll definitely woo her. I'd be like, hey, lady.
And then you get half of that.
Yeah.
Even a quarter of the Gates fortune is...
when I divorce her, then I get some money. Yeah, because it's like the...
you can have me, but you can't sign a prenup.
Oh, yeah. That's probably going to be what fucks me. She's like, if we get married, we can't. I'm like, motherfucker. Then I have to figure out how to murder her.
Right. But I was thinking, like, this guy was, at one point, the richest man in the world for a long time. And still is one of the richest people like in the world.
He's like top 3, top 5, right?
I think he's top.
Isn't Elon? Or is Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk the richest person?
Elon Musk is now.
Elon Musk is right now
because Tesla like took off.
Okay.
And so it's Elon Musk, then Jeff Bezos, and then one of the guys is like he's a Mexican man who owns an insurance company. I don't know his name though.
Okay.
He's one of them, but. How much does this person have to suck that being the richest person in the world make you want to get divorced?
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the weird thing? They always like seemed like, I don't know, like we're two nerds that love each other sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean they did. He always was like my wife Melinda.
Yeah,
My wife Melinda.
and it's like, oh, I wonder, like, what happened.
Maybe my theory is that one day he's like, my wife Melinda. Melinda. That's a kind of a weird name, huh? And then they just kind of like spiraled out of control from there.
He was just really into like the phrase, like the my wife Melinda, and then he's like, wait a second, am I married? What the fuck? And then he's like, I'm a free man, god damn it.
Also, do you think at some point
they also got married on a golf course in Hawaii?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's still pretty fucking
There's
nice.
I guess there's a hole on this one golf course in Hawaii which has like the most spectacular view in the world or something like that. They got married.
The most spectacular view in the world, and it's a golf course.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of sad? In
Yeah.
a weird way.
That's a very like white thing to like be like, okay, this is beautiful, right? Okay, golf course. Yeah. We're gonna hit balls around here.
Like the most beautiful,
And none of the brownies can touch it.
the most beautiful view in the world, and you're like, "Fuck, my ball went off this goddamn. Who put this cliff here?"
The ocean, the ocean's like filled with golf balls on the other side, yeah.
Yeah, shouldn't like the most beautiful thing in the world be like a public access?
Yeah, like
thing?
a state park or something like that.
Yeah, right? Like a national park of some kind.
And then we just put a golf course here. Yeah. Yeah, that's fucked.
Have you ever played golf?
Yeah.
I've never played. Oh, yeah, you tried golf. I remember you telling me that story. You played golf one time.
It's fun, I guess. You have to go with the right people. And also, it's like you need a golf cart to have fun.
Yeah, you don't want to be the walking.
It's not fun walking around with the bag. Because then also, you hit the ball, and then you're like, okay, I think I saw where it landed. And then you walk, like, however many, like feet you hit that ball, like, super far away, and then you get to where you think it is, and you're like, oh, fuck, it's not here. And then, like, you walk around, like, this massive circle. And if you had a golf cart, you could just, like, be over there in, like, 30 seconds and then, like, have a night. Because you lose it on the way as you're walking
that
there.
speaks to golf, that it's more fun the less golf you have to do.
Yeah.
If you think of golf as, like, you also have to, like, get to your ball, like, the less of that shit as possible, like, the better. It'd be like if baseball was just, like, you hit a home run and then you just like get to like walk back. It's like to the dugout. Like that was like the like what baseball becomes. Probably.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. Like when you hit a home run, that's like no matter what you scored.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have to walk around all the bases? Shouldn't you just assume right away that person's gonna? Because even if all the,
I think it's more of a celebration thing.
Yeah,
and also.
Like when you get a touchdown, you spike.
So if you get a home run and someone's on second, if
they also
you have to, so you have to run around and then they are in front of you, and like that's 2 points. If you kind of just like walked back and they're like, okay, I'm coming back,
yeah,
like it's a little. Because also though, sometimes you don't know if it's gonna be home. Like you run immediately too, like towards first base.
Yeah, you don't always know that you
it's a home run because it could like hit
if
just the right angle and stuff.
So
if you're running towards first and then you're like, oh shit, was that home run? All right, I'm not even going to bother with these next two bases. You guys all saw it, right?
Like, all right.
You're all good. But baseball is kind of dying though.
Baseball and hockey.
I heard speaking of about baseball, so like Yankee Stadium is like open now, but only like a certain capacity. And those tickets were already insanely expensive. Like fucking so expensive to go to Yankee Stadium. And
then it's expensive to be there. Like if you like want food, you have to spend like $10 for a beer and like $20 for a hot dog.
It's $12 for a beer.
$12 for a
beer. The last time I was there, it was $12 for a Heineken.
Jesus fucking Christ. It's not even a good beer.
It's a Heineken.
Yeah.
It's like
it's not even good.
I know. It's shit. But I guess now that there's a limited amount of seats, scalping is like bigger than ever. Because now there's no chance for regular people to just buy the tickets from the Yankee Stadium. It is all Ticketmaster and like StubHub and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So they just buy the limited amount of seats and sell them for like insane prices. Mm-hmm. You're basically paying for like the 5 seats of people who aren't sitting next to you.
Jesus Christ.
So it's like, yeah, why would you even fucking go to fucking a baseball game? It's so pointless now. And then it's fun being at the games. I've had like a lot of fun being at baseball games.
Yeah, I would say compared to watching it on TV,
you can't watch on TV.
It's much more fun to be there and like watch the game.
Yeah. You actually feel like intertwined with the game.
Whereas, like, I heard with football, if you're there, you don't have as much fun as if you're at home watching a football game.
Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
Because I heard, like, depending on where you sit, you can't always see, like, what's happening on the field. Whereas, like, when you're at home, you can at home, no matter what, you're always going to get the best view.
Right.
Because the camera's just focused right on the game. But I mean, I heard football isn't as fun unless you have like good seats. I hear the NBA is fun no matter what. If you go to a basketball game, it's always...
Yeah, I went to a Knicks Celtics game one time, but that was preseason though. So they were up here in upstate New York.
Okay, so they're just fucking around up here.
Yeah, there was only one like all-star player, Rondo. Was the only one playing. Like the other ones that were just like, nah, we're like Carmelo Anthony and stuff. They're just like, no, we're gonna stay home for this one.
Also, I heard there's a difference between like because like I hear when people like you're in a this is back when like stadiums used to get packed for football games. Like it's almost always just like a party atmosphere because like a lot of people are there to watch the game, but also a lot of people are there just get fucking trashed. And I've heard people say it's like one big party, but imagine a bunch of barbarians were throwing a party. That's like what a football game's kind of like.
Yeah.
Whereas like if you go to like an NBA game, you have like that same vibe where it's kind of like a party, but it's more like cool people are throwing a party.
Right.
And like,
what was that one basketball team that did they like weren't getting like a lot of people in the stands, so they did like $2 beers for like people who were there like before the game started, and once the game started they went to regular price. I think it was the Phoenix Suns, but I'm almost definitely wrong.
This almost sounds like something that would happen in the movie Semi-Pro. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah. It was either Phoenix Suns or the Denver Nuggets, I think. Not like anyone listening to this fucking podcast besides my one friend would have any idea what I'm talking about or that these are even sports teams. But they did like a $2 beer night before the game,
and then during game it's regular price.
And they're like, okay, because we're like stopping it at the game, people are going to be able to like, you know, it'll be like fine, no one's going to get too trash. And I guess there were like fights like in the stands while the games were going on. Like people just went fucking insane because they would get there like an hour early and just get as many beers as possible and just chug them before the game.
Holy shit.
So you can't, it's like
well, there's always going to be people when like there's like a big sporting event going on. They're like, let me see how fucking drunk I can get before.
Yeah, people can't regulate themselves.
Yeah.
It's like every time you see a shopping cart in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
Someone did that.
Yeah.
Like that was intentionally left there on purpose.
Or when you see it like when you're like 2 miles down the road from the from like a Walmart and you see a Walmart cart and you're like, oh, okay.
Someone really made a choice to do this.
Like someone got on their bus and didn't need this cart anymore.
Oh yeah, they're always at the bus by the bus stop and stuff. Which I don't know. I understand like if you have to take the bus to the grocery store and you like take it like to the bus stop and like I mean like you have to bring your I guess like you can't bring all those groceries like walking with them, I guess. But they should really have carts by
but also who gets that shopping cart?
Yeah, it has to be the
someone has to go wrangle that cart.
Oh fuck. Really? Next podcast I'm gonna set it up again where I can Google things to make it easier. But there is a shopping center, like a grocery store that put like beepers on their carts.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a Wegmans. Okay. But again, everything I say, there's like a 33% accuracy to it. So it was either the Denver Nuggets or the Phoenix Suns or Wegmans. One of those three. But they put like beepers, and if you get too far away from the store, the wheels stop. Like there's brakes on them. The wheels just stop like working. So you're forced to like back up and bring it back to the store.
That's funny.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
You think how many shopping carts probably go missing?
Yeah, how many people steal shopping carts?
Just to do it too.
Yeah.
People will just take things.
I wonder what a grocery store expenses every year on replacing shopping carts.
Probably a lot. They're custom made
Also,
things.
yeah, where the fuck do you get a shopping cart? Like,
I assume Walmart makes them for their stores at this point.
probably.
And like Target.
I wonder if there's like a shopping cart distributor or something like that.
Walmart's so big now. Like, they have a great value, like,
Yeah, they might as well
stuff.
just make their
They
own.
might as well make their own shit, you know?
Maybe like prisoners make shopping carts. Like, you know how like prisoners make license plates or whatever?
Oh, it could be, and they just buy them super cheap.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone who's stolen anything? Like, obviously, like, don't say names, but like, told you that they stole something?
Saying names and street addresses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And social security.
Yeah.
But has anyone like that you know ever told you like that they stole something and you're like, what the fuck?
stole stuff.
Like from a store?
I don't know. I mean, I suppose there's always been like times where like as like a kid, like, you know, someone like stole like candy from a convenience store or something like that. Like,
What's that called? What's it called when you can't stop stealing something?
kleptomania.
Kleptomaniac? Why was I thinking narcolepsy? Is that when you sleep
That's
too
when
much?
you fall asleep, yeah.
What if you're a kleptomaniac and a narcoleptic?
Narcoleptic.
Narco-kleptomaniac.
And you get so excited when you're about to steal something, you pass out with it in your hand.
And you never get to steal.
Yeah.
What? It's the ultimate hell.
Yeah.
You can't steal anything because you're always so sleepy, but you can't stop yourself.
You get so excited and you pass out before you can even get back to the car.
Yeah, I was trying to ask him because like I didn't know if you like. Do you know any kleptomaniacs? Do you think?
We definitely went to school with people who got like in big trouble for stealing stuff.
Yeah,
Who,
I
like,
think that kleptomania fascinates me because I feel like it's not because you really want the thing.
No, it's you want the feeling of like
Of stealing something,
Yeah.
right? But like, I wonder if there's any healthy alternative to like having that, you know?
I guess maybe like well, I would say like maybe like controlled like scenario, but like that probably wouldn't do it because it's like the rush of like actually having like shit to go like haywire, you know? It's
Yeah.
like a possibility is like what gets you going.
I guess my point is, I'm gonna name drop for the first time in this podcast.
Okay.
First time dropping a name. Chloe, I want my A Chamber of Secrets Harry Potter book back. Oh. You have 30 days, or I will send the police. But anyways, back
We
to
have your street address too, Chloe. We are gonna get the cops to come find you. It doesn't
see this
matter.
book's behind me? There is one missing from this pile.
Doesn't matter if you live in another state now. We're gonna get it back.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you, Harry Potter. That's what Voldemort said. I'm
You
pretty
think
sure.
because we're friends, we're not going to call the cops on you. By the way, happy birthday. It was, happy belated birthday. Your birthday was last week, but let's do it on the podcast.
I still want that book back.
as a little special. Yeah, no, we want the book back, but also happy birthday. But
What was I, what the fuck was I even saying?
kleptomania.
Oh yeah.
Was this all just to tell Chloe that we want the
No.
fucking book
I was
back?
gonna tell you I know a kleptomaniac.
Okay, all right.
It was a guy that I know of who would come into the restaurant and steal stuff, and we knew it was
what would
him.
he steal?
Just he would steal like like the little sugar caddies on the table. He would steal like lanterns that were on tables. He would steal pillows and stuff.
What the fuck?
And we always knew it was him because he always came on the same night, and the next day something would be missing.
Okay.
And
Was it
in the
was it
vicinity,
like an old guy?
older guy, and also I'm not gonna give away too many details. Only people who work with me
Would know.
would know who I'm talking about. So I feel fine saying this stuff. One time he and I don't give a fuck if he ever hears this because
Well, that's
stop stealing from us.
kind of a piece of shit for stealing. So.
He had like a bag.
It's not like he's
with
fucking
him.
stealing like food like Robin Hood and giving it to the poor. He's fucking stealing like sugar caddies and shit. Like,
Yeah, and he had like a bag with him, and so we give desserts.
what's this in there? Oh,
Yes,
this in there?
we had like you get like he got like a dessert, and then he left his bag on his seat to go talk to people at the other side of the restaurant, and one of my coworkers had his food wrapped up and was like, "Oh, like I'm gonna be nice," and put it in his bag, and she opened his bag, and it had the glass that the dessert was in. Like the glass that the dessert was in with the dessert in it, just put in the bag completely. Like it was spilled in his bag. It was clearly just so he could get the glass.
Like a child would would just be like, I'm going to take this.
Yeah, it was one of those, like those thermo-resistive bags that you get at like Price Chopper, like hot and cold bags. Mm-hmm. It was one of those, like a lunch box basically. And he just like took his whole dessert and just put it in his bag without like wrapping it or anything. Jeez. So she took it out and she dumped the dessert into a plastic container and closed that up and put that in his bag. And then he goes over to his bag, right? And he looks into it, and he's like, I'm not going to say my coworker's name, but he's like, where is she? And I'm like, I don't know. And he finds her, and he's like, I was going to bring it back. I just didn't want to bother you to wrap it up for me. Like, I was going to clean it at home and bring it back. And she's like, okay. Like, I'm sorry. I just saw it there, and I just wanted to make sure it was wrapped up for you. And I haven't seen him much since. But... That's like the level that these people like will think at, you know.
His dick probably gets hard doing that though.
Maybe.
It most definitely.
Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah, it's Insane. People are sick. It's even sicker
like a real
that this old man's getting a hard on from stealing like this is most definitely like a sex pervert thing like this guy.
Oh, I don't know about
almost
that.
100%.
I can't. I can't speak to that.
I can 100%.
I can only tell you the things I've seen.
Tell you that this man is a sex. His dick gets hard stealing.
You're gonna get me fired, man.
Yeah, if you ever listen, yeah, I'm telling you, this dude's a sex pervert. 100%. This guy's dick gets hard stealing stuff.
That's right. I'm only there for 4 more months anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's just like I know we talked about this for like a while now, but it baffles me.
I feel like that's like anyone who like does that. Like, well, I feel like anything for a rush. I feel like it's, I don't know. Maybe there's like a mental high that comes with it, but I feel like there's almost like some sort of like weird sex thing that like goes along with it.
Isn't everything like a weird sex thing in the end?
I guess.
Like in a weird way. Like this podcast, just because I want to fuck you for 2 hours.
It's a weird sex thing between me and you.
Yeah. It's like an unspoken like thing.
It's like that episode of Black Mirror where they play the video game and they realize in the game that they could fuck each other.
Is that what this podcast is?
Yeah.
All right.
We're just waiting until we can get to that point, and then there's going to be no more podcasts.
Is that our episode 100 special?
Yeah.
And in the end, we're just going to be like, I'm fulfilled. This is the end of the podcast.
Speaking of which, Anthony Mackie's in that episode, and Winter Soldier and Falcon just ended.
Yeah. So you liked it?
I did. You like it?
I liked it a lot. Hot take, I liked it better than WandaVision, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which one I liked better.
WandaVision, I appreciate how weird they went with it. Falcon Winter Soldier, it wasn't like, it was like very standard MCU, but I liked how it was good. Like every episode I thought was really good. There was no like slow build up. It was always like pretty good. I
was kind of bored after the first episode because I really didn't know what was gonna happen, you know. But towards the end, every episode kept getting better and better after that, though.
Yeah, I saw a review that like the second to last episode was shitty. It's the one where they fight U.S. agent in the beginning. Oh, full spoilers, by the way, for Falcon Winter Soldier, and after the break, Invincible as well. Full spoilers.
If you didn't see on the screen.
Well, yeah.
For everyone who's listening, we have Invincible on the screen.
Because I know some friends who are watching it right now who probably want to stop after the break and then listen to it at a later time.
Yeah.
But I saw reviews that like that episode, and they helped them like fix up the boat and stuff, was like a terrible episode.
I love that episode.
That was a great episode because it was like one of the only like character development episodes.
Yeah, there's a lot that happened with like in like that episode with like everyone.
Yeah, I like that a lot. But I thought the action was pretty good in it. I mean, it's standard. Like Marvel needs to stop doing so many jump cuts when they like do the action scenes.
Yeah, I mean. That's something where, I don't know, I guess you have to, like, stylize the fighting or whatever. I guess that's, like, something where...
But, like, John Wick, you know? It's, like, a tracking shot the entire time, and it's, like, amazing. Because no one watches John Wick for, like, the plot. It's just the action is really well done. Because you actually see Keanu. But also, like, Keanu Reeves trained a lot for that movie.
Yeah, and also, I think a stunt coordinator directed that movie.
Yeah, it was his stunt double in Matrix movies.
Oh, okay.
Was the guy who made John Wick.
I don't know if you saw, not to get off topic, but I forget what the movie is. There's like an action movie on Netflix with Chris Hemsworth where he's like retrieving someone. That was directed. The director was a stunt double. Was actually his stunt double.
Oh, really?
For Thor. And
I know what movie you're talking about.
Oh no, it wasn't his stunt double. And I think it might have been the guy who did the Captain America stunt double.
Okay.
But what it was that he started out just as a stunt guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he became the lead choreographer for stunts in the Marvel movies. And then he kind of just got big enough that he could he got enough clout that he was able to direct this action movie.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter as much for like Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. These are people fantastical mystical powers and stuff. Yeah. But when you have people who only can punch and kick
each other, yeah.
Like Black Widow, I hope they do a good job with the action scenes of that movie, because that it matters for like Winter Soldier. I thought did a pretty good job with the fight scenes, like the elevator scene.
That was a cool scene.
Sorry, I mean Winter Soldier, Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yep, yeah.
That did a good job with the action stuff because it's very base level.
Yeah. There's that and the scene with the two of them fighting in that helipad thing at the end. Mm-hmm. That was cool.
What do you think about the Anthony Mackie being the new Captain America?
I like it. I thought it's cool. My least favorite part is his costume.
Yeah,
I don't like his costume.
I mean more how they built it up. Instead of, would you prefer if he just became Captain America, or do you like how they?
I like the struggle. I mean, I understood the. I guess his hesitance, where he's this is a big responsibility,
Yeah.
Captain America meant a lot to people, and then he kind of gave. I do like the character. I forget what the guy's name is, but the guy who was the replacement Captain America. I forget what his name is in the show. Is it Wyatt?
Walker?
Well, it's Walker, right? It's something. Yeah. He's I liked him, his whole thing, because then at the end he kind of got he kind of redeemed himself at the end.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I liked it. It was a little frustrating at times. Then you're oh, okay, I kind of get it. Where he's and also we said this before. This was probably probably the better handled race relations that Disney's ever done.
Yeah. They pulled it off pretty good, pretty well in this show.
With the other black Captain America who fought in Vietnam and never got any credit, and he kind of just went to jail for 30 years. After,
the government was testing on him. Yeah, the government
tested on him
and other black people too, because it was during segregation and stuff. Yeah, so it didn't really matter that they they just do this. And no one gave a shit about it. That was pretty cool. I liked how my fear with the show was that they were going to put Captain America on a pedestal, even though we don't see like Steve Rogers on a pedestal, even we don't see him. But they did, but in a way that was good, because the characters realize that they have him on a pedestal. He was a real they're oh, he is this figure that's above us. Yeah. And Winter Soldier's upset that he gave it away.
And also, well, yeah. I thought also that it was never Steve himself was on a pedestal. It was the symbol of Captain America was on. I feel the actions of Steve Rogers, you could chalk that up to he was a stand-up guy, He would always do the right thing no matter what.
Right.
Which I feel that's more relevant to Anthony Mackie's character and the Winter Soldier, because they were his friends,
Right.
And they were they knew him.
But Winter Soldier, what's Winter Soldier's name? I have no idea.
Oh, his name's Bucky Barnes. I don't remember Falcon's real name though.
So Bucky Barnes.
Oh no, isn't he Sam Wilson? Isn't the Falcon Sam Wilson?
Yeah. So Bucky Barnes does put Steve on a pedestal though.
Yeah, because he remembers Steve as his best friend the entire time.
And the only one who cared about him when he was the Winter Soldier.
Because, I feel for his case, the symbol of the shield doesn't represent Captain America. It represents Steve. Mm-hmm. That's his last bit of his best friend that he has.
Yeah.
Because much
then Anthony Sam Wilson kind of just he thinks he's like throwing it away.
Yeah. He's like, you threw away our last connection to like our best friend sort of thing.
Yeah. It was cool how like they both were like at odds about it, but
Yeah.
they had different reasonings for it.
Yeah.
And then I liked how like in the second to last episode, you know, they kind of like talked it out finally, and we're like, okay, like I can see how you feel about this. So that was cool.
Also, like what it means is like a black person taking on because you have the older black guy who was Captain America, who was like tested on to be like
He's a super soldier, yeah.
Who's like, no matter what, no one's gonna accept a black man as Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like at some point, Sam's character comes to terms with like, I understand not everyone's gonna be happy that a black man is, you know, Captain America. He's like, but no matter what, I'll try to do what the right thing is, no matter what.
Yeah, that was I thought that was pretty well done.
Yeah,
because it was nice. It was cool that like that one guy was like, no, like I like don't do this. Like, you're being like so fucking stupid.
He's like, you're forgetting what like this actually, like what like
it actually
the
means.
entirety of it means.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But overall, what would you rate the show?
Maybe like a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I like did you like the bad girl, I guess I should say? The chick who was part of the underground movement or whatever.
Oh. Yeah, like the Flag Smashers.
Yeah.
I liked them. I got like the rationale. I feel like in time they'll probably be kind of forgettable villains.
Yeah.
I feel like it was the more interesting stuff was with I think that was more like a means to an end, you know, like there's a bad guy, but you really focused on like the new Captain America, Falcon, and Winter Soldier, and how those were like the more interesting parts of the show to me.
Yeah.
And then what was the new Captain America sidekick? He had a name too. I can't remember what
His
it
name was Battlestar.
Yeah. I liked him, and it was cool how like he dies, and like that's what sets off.
I also like that out of the two of them, at like from the beginning, I forget what the character's name is, but the new Captain America that everyone, like the government picked.
Yeah, Walker.
Yeah, Walker, whatever. He's like I'm trying to be like the best like Captain America I can be.
Mm-hmm.
And like he kind of gets in his head too much, but his friend is like, you just gotta like do the right thing.
Yeah, like you're chosen for a reason.
Yeah. And then when he dies, he kind of like loses his like he loses his best friend, but his best friend was also like his voice of reason, you know?
Mm-hmm. He kind of just
and then he like goes off the rails and he kills the one dude and then they take the shield from him and stuff.
Yeah. Also like his answer to like filling this impossible role of Captain America wasn't do the best thing. It was take the serum to be as strong as him.
Yeah.
But it's like the point isn't you shouldn't be as strong as Captain America. You should uphold the values that are Captain America.
Yeah, it's like doing the right thing no matter what. Yeah.
Also, I felt like that was probably like Disney trying to do social commentary when he kills a person in public and he's like representing America.
And he has the blood on the shield, yeah.
Yeah. That's probably like that's probably too smart for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's supposed to, yeah, I feel, yeah, that's that's probably like more of like the symbol of like, what the older black man saw is like,
yeah,
you see the shield and that what this represents, but you don't see like the blood on it, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And there's blood on it.
But that's what everyone sees now. So.
Yeah, fuck man.
And everyone has phones.
Speaking of blood, after the break, you want to talk a little Invincible?
Yeah, no. Speaking of good superhero shows,
fuck yeah, like my new favorite show.
Yeah, it's probably like one of the better. This is better than The Boys.
I haven't finished The Boys. But I do want to talk to you about comparisons between the two.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, once you get into like new superhero stuff, there's almost always like
some angle.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, I can see like how this is like a Marvel or a DC thing.
Mm-hmm. You know? But we'll talk about that after the break.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the break. Same ad.
Yeah. Maybe I'll re-record it.
We got to work on getting more advertising.
I know. I thought about reaching out to some companies.
I see Magic Spoon a lot.
I know. I
I've
heard
never had their cereal. I wonder what the deal is.
I'm actually gonna order some if you want to come over and try it.
Yeah.
One time.
It's like all like...
Let's just do next podcast. We'll be eating Magic Spoon cereal the entire time while we're talking, and hope they'll sponsor us.
Magic Spoon.
We're big fans.
Come through.
Come through, Magic Spoon.
Yeah.
But yeah, we gotta re-record that ad. I'm sure people are sick of.
And we also only shave our balls with Manscaped trimmers. So come on, Manscaped, come on.
The Lawnmower 3.0.
Sign the check.
This is free advertisement right here.
Sign the check. We'll talk about it.
we'll shout you out again. But after this, no more freebies.
I will fucking walk around with a box of Magic Spoon and a Lawnmower 2.0 in my hand every day.
I'll eat Magic Spoon with a Lawnmower 3.0.
Yeah, I will only eat your razors.
I'll eat your razors for a month. If it gets you on our podcast. If it gets me that check, baby.
I ate nails for breakfast, so without any milk. Oh, jeez, okay.
I ate Magic Spoon for breakfast with a Lawnmower 3.0. Anyways, we're so poor. But
yeah.
Invincible, baby.
Good show.
Fuck yeah. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, for real, 10 out of fucking 10. Do you have any criticism about this show?
What do you think?
My stuff is just, like, nitpicky bullshit that really doesn't matter, honestly.
I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I kind of got annoyed with the character Amber.
Mm-hmm.
Just for her reasoning.
Yeah, she is definitely the least well-written. I still, like, I don't, like, despise the character.
No, I get her, but also, like, at a certain point, we'll get to it. Spoilers, gang.
Yeah. Well, we already said before, spoilers after the break.
We're going to get deep into this. But if you haven't watched Invincible, do yourself a favor and watch it. Because this is probably, like, one of the better new superhero things. Because, I don't know.
Animated show or superhero show.
We haven't talked about The Boys, but me and you have watched that, right? You said you haven't finished season 2,
I haven't finished season 2, but I can see the similarities. But I feel like The Boys is more, like, on the nose of, like, violence, kind of for violence sake sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like, well, it's also, I feel like they're also, like, trying to hardcore parody DC and Marvel at the same time.
Right.
And, like, yeah, like, the joke is, like, the violence or whatever. Like, the characters are awful and
like,
stuff like that.
The violence makes sense in The Boys. Mm-hmm. You know, like I get it. And it does, like, elevate the show. I'm not, like, saying the violence is the bad thing in the show. Because it does make it more, like, holy shit.
Yeah. The series, I like The Boys. I wouldn't say it's, like, one of my favorites. Compared to Invincible, I think, is way better than The Boys.
Well, I feel like the violence in Invincible, if you're comparing them based off that, it means more because there's some truly horrific violence in this show.
Yeah.
Way more than, like, The Boys, I would even say. Because it's a cartoon, they can do that shit more.
I was kind of wondering if, like, because in the comics of The Boys, there's, like, some really, like, crazy shit that happens.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if it's because this is Invincible's animated, they can kind of just push it way like farther, you know?
Yeah, you can do anything you want in an animated show, basically. As long as it's, like, not sex, which I'm pretty sure they could have because Amazon, you know? They can do whatever they want, really. But I think it's TV M17 or something like that. But they can get away with a lot more than just because you can draw also, blood.
Yeah. But
CGIing it into a real show is, like, takes a lot more budget.
It's also on, like, Prime, so that's, like, a subscription based thing. So it's like you can do whatever you want. It's essentially you're paying for it, you know?
But every time you see super violence in Invincible, it's always like...
It kind of makes sense because it's always between, like, superheroes and stuff, but also, like, what this does better than, like a Marvel or a DC movie does is, like, when you see, like, those, like, massive superhero fights and there's, like, all out, like, catastrophe, you see, like, people getting, like, killed by, like, buildings falling on them and, like...
Yeah, in Marvel, it's like they kind of just like pretend that doesn't happen.
Yeah, you brush
people
past
die.
It, yeah,
like in the first Avengers, like you think nobody died in that entire invasion. There's probably thousands of people died. You know, like there's crazy destruction. They never really address that at all.
Yeah, they don't really talk. Also, like in like Age of Ultron, when like the entire nation of Sokovia gets lifted up and then dropped from like 2 miles above like the
only time they mention it is like in Civil War when Tony Stark is like having a crisis about it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like
they're like, you killed an entire nation.
But that's only because one woman came up and was like, oh, my son died here. And also like that wasn't Tony Stark's fault, you know, that happened. They were doing the best they could to save. So like, fuck you, man. I was trying my best.
Yeah.
Invincible, the violence happens because Omni-Man, who is a superhero, has personal beef with like his son and is trying to show him these humans are worthless and like just is like killing people on purpose to be like, means nothing to me.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of like his ultimate goal in the end was, okay, Han, should we just like explain what Invincible is if no one's ever seen it and they're just still listening?
I mean, I'm assuming at this point, people know what it is. Basically, like, I guess the premise of the show is that Invincible is the main character, Mark Grayson, and his father is like basically their version of Superman.
Yeah, his name's Omni-Man. He's from a planet called Viltrum.
Yeah.
Which he claims is like super advanced, and all they do is that they try to go out and help other planets.
Yeah.
Get it just as advanced as like they are, sort of thing.
But then you soon see Omni-Man kill basically their version of like the Justice League. He just murders them all, and you don't know why. And then eventually he explains.
Was one of like the most badass scenes I've ever like.
Yeah, in the comic, that's like one page.
It's such an awesome fight scene. Like him, like even though he like fucking like rips these people. It's insane.
Yeah. Also in the comic, he's not hurt like at all.
Oh really?
He's just like completely like fine from the fight because he like sneak attacks them. Which he tries to in the show, but like they kind of give him a run for his money.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
But in the end, he's still able to
take him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally it's explained he was actually sent there to weaken Earth so Viltrum could take over. Yeah. So he...
Because they're an empire of like conquering and taking over. And his son, he didn't know if his son was ever going to get power. So he never treated his son like a true like Viltrumite.
He raised him as human, yeah.
And then kind of when it's too late, he kind of like, this is kind of the end, but he lets him know like what his true intentions are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the basic premise of it. But I mean, there's like obviously a lot more that goes on. But holy fuck, that show is good.
What are you going to have?
I'd have you. Have you, Dad. But that was a fucking amazing scene too. I was going to say, I saw this review where someone said the animation wasn't very good in the show. I don't know if I agree with that.
No, I like it.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the way like the characters are drawn.
I don't know. I feel like the same people that are like, I don't like this animation, are like the same people that are like, the last season of Attack on Titan sucks because it's not the same animation studio or whatever.
Yeah. I didn't watch that.
I'm not one of those people. It's like, I don't know. It looks good to me. I like the story.
And the voice acting is
the voice acting is
top notch.
J.K. Simmons deserves another Oscar.
100%.
He deserves some like a fucking Emmy or something.
Yeah. I mean, I know we talked about him last week.
Steven Yeun
might actually be like the best voice actor on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, not the best. You can't compare them. They're all different characters.
He's like he does a really good.
He killed this role.
He's like a really good Mark Grayson.
Yeah, he really killed the role. Sandra Oh was very good.
Yeah,
Mark Hamill was pretty good. I didn't even know it was him.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's in it. I'm trying to. There's like a lot of
Mahershala Ali. He's
what's
Titan.
His name? Titan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Didn't know that either until I looked it up. There's a ton of fucking characters in this show. What's that guy's name? Who's Rex Blode?
Oh,
he's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
He does a voice in Big Mouth also.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name.
Me too. He's in everything.
Yeah,
though.
he does a lot. He does a lot of voice acting. He also like pops up in like a lot of small roles. He does. I think. Yeah, I like Rex Blode a lot.
Yeah.
I like Robot. Robot's a cool character. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was definitely well done.
So I want to ask you because I talked about this with someone else. What did you think Robot was going to do when he first approached like those two clone guys, and you find out he's the one that broke him out of jail, and he gives him the sample of Rex Blode's blood?
I thought that because Cecil's trying to find a way to get someone to be able to kill Omni-Man, because Cecil knows already that Omni-Man did it. He just doesn't know why, and he doesn't have a way to fight him. I thought he was going to get them to clone either Mark or if they had Omni-Man's blood from his outfit, either they're going to make like another Viltrumite to like that the U.S. government like raises or something like that, and that was going to be their defense against Omni-Man.
Okay.
That was why I was thinking, because he's still the Guardians of the Globe like leader at that point.
What I was thinking was because Rexplode really doesn't like listen to anyone. I thought what was going to happen was Robot was going to kill this Rex, and then he was going to clone a new one that was like more obedient to him.
Mm-hmm.
But it turned. I like what happened instead. That was kind of a total like what the fuck.
Well, you think Robot is super analytical and stuff,
Yeah.
but he's actually not, because he's actually a person,
Yeah.
who's just so deformed that they can't.
Yeah. And even like breathing air is like toxic to his lungs.
Right. So he like lives as Robot.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of weird that he becomes Rexplode as a kid, because it's clearly be with Monster Girl.
It is weird, yeah. But also you have to, I guess, yeah, that's totally weird. But I guess like Monster Girl, they also said she's like a 25-year-old woman.
Yeah, she's 29. In the comic she's 29. She might be 25 in the show. I think she actually is 25 in the show.
Yeah, but yeah, she's like an adult. It's just like when she becomes the monster, it makes her go back, like age younger. Mm-hmm. So, and he realized that like...
And he's also an adult. But it's weird that these two adults...
are in child bodies.
Are now in child bodies.
Yeah.
And if they have a relationship, it's like...
yeah.
This is hinky.
But also, I guess if like they were to like stop being super... Well, I guess not so much him, but for her, if she stopped like using her monster powers, they could just grow up together.
Yeah. Which probably will...
That'll probably like...
Well, like in the comics, she gets a suit that she doesn't have to use her...
so she doesn't have to use her monster powers
so then she can like grow up.
Yeah.
You know?
And the comics are done, right?
Comics have been done for a while now.
Okay. Yeah, you were saying this...
I'm going to actually Google when they finished.
You said this came out like a while ago, right?
2003.
Yeah.
Yeah. Came out like a fucking long time. Because it's a sleeper hit, definitely.
Which is interesting because I think... Well, I was saying this before. The same guy who wrote The Walking Dead wrote these comics.
Right.
And I think these are much, much more interesting than The Walking Dead.
Right. But the show was better than the comics. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least... Not that the comics are bad, but there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
And also it was clear that they didn't have like a complete direction of where they wanted to go when they were doing the first comics.
Okay.
They knew they wanted to do the stuff with Mark and with Omni-Man and stuff like that. But like a lot of the stuff that you see in season 1 of Invincible is from like later on after the Omni-Man fight. Because that's when he starts throwing a bunch of like subplots in there.
Gotcha.
And he even says in the foreword to the second novel, he's like, this is almost all subplots. Because I realized like I could now, Invincible became so popular, I could now make it into what I wanted to be originally.
Okay.
I didn't have to streamline it because I guess when he first came out with it, it was not selling like at all. Like it was not popular.
Okay.
And it took I think like 1 or 2 years before people got like noticed it and stuff. Because it's such like a saturated market. And then once it got popular.
Also like a superhero book that isn't like a Marvel or a DC. You're kind of like,
yeah, okay, it's, you're like Image Comics.
Yeah, you're kind of like, what is this going to be derivative of, sort of thing.
Yeah,
because if you think about The Boys, like the joke is like, there's all like, it's like bastardizations of like Marvel characters and like DC characters. Because you have like, who's the Superman in The Boys? It's
Homelander.
Homelander, yeah. You have Homelander and
2018. It ended.
Okay, so it kind of just ended like 3 years ago.
Yeah. Wow, so that's 15 years it went on for. They did 144 issues. If you look, because
those are kind of like volumes broken up into like an omnibus, right? The ones that you have.
Yeah, these are. There's 12 of these.
There's a lot in there. There's like a lot.
I looked up 144 divided by 15, and instead of giving me the number, it says Psalm 144:15. It's trying to give me a Bible verse.
Oh, what's the verse?
Blessed are the people of whom this is so. Who are so situated. Huh.
Amen.
Topical.
Thanks, God.
It's 9.6 comics per year. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, I also think they took a break in between the first few, and then they took like a little break before they started making them again, because they got like a new artist and stuff.
Okay.
Who worked on it, and then some people weren't working on it anymore. But yeah, I'm surprised it took this long for them to make.
Yeah, because I've never heard. Also when The Walking Dead came out, I'd never heard of that before.
Yeah,
when it first came out,
I didn't hear about this until you told me about it like 2 weeks ago when we were looking at the comic book store. You just saw it and you're like, oh, there's like a show now, and I think I just like randomly clicked on it. I was like, ooh, baby.
Aren't you happy you watched it?
Oh my god, dude! I'm happy I'm reading it now too. It's
I think when I finish watching, I think when the show's over, I'll get into like.
Okay, so here's what I like though. The show is already so different than the comics that I feel like I'm still getting my fix of Invincible because I'm reading the comics, like the lore and stuff. But I know season 2 is gonna be way different than this, based off what I've read already.
Kind of like
how different it is.
Kind of like A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, exactly, but in a better way.
Yeah,
because like I'll definitely finish all the.
Oh yeah, hopefully this doesn't shit the bed towards the end.
I don't think it will.
Yeah,
because the books are already done, so I'm definitely gonna finish the books like way before season 2 comes out. Finishes, yeah. But I guarantee season 2 is gonna be so different than what I've read that it'll still be exciting and new stuff is gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm excited for and it's been greenlit for the next two seasons.
Yeah, so you know it's a good show when they'll probably also have a higher budget next season too.
Yeah, so hopefully maybe more episodes or something. Or
how many? There were 10 episodes.
I think it was 8.
8.
Yeah,
it seemed like appropriate amount of episodes.
I think
that's
that seems to be like Amazon's. Like when we do a new show, it's 8 episodes a season. Whereas Falcon and the Winter Soldier was only 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
6 or 7, yeah.
Was WandaVision 6 or was that 8?
That was 8.
That was 8.
Yeah.
And then what else?
But did you feel like any episode really dragged at all?
No, every episode
every episode's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a subplot.
I feel like no matter what, something cool happens at least once in every episode where you're like, holy shit, that was like.
Even if it's not the main story, it's always like something that like at least piques your interest enough to like watch it.
You're like, okay, yeah.
Like the fight scenes are always really good. Mm-hmm. You know, it's cool to see the characters team up with each other.
Yeah. I think. What's your favorite? Do you have like a favorite fight in the show?
Oh, I mean, definitely Omni-Man versus Invincible. But if we're talking like just the regular fights, probably. I like the one where the aliens come in and they from a different dimension. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. I'm trying to think of other fights.
I like the one where Mark and Titan try to attack
Machine Head,
and then they fail.
They get like fucked up.
Yeah.
That
one I liked a lot.
I literally just read that part in the comics.
Oh, really?
That's how far ahead it is after Omni-Man. Because in the show, Omni-Man's there and he like is watching but doesn't do anything for some reason.
Yeah.
But I guess if his goal is to weaken Earth, then I guess you would want all
also,
your heroes to get fucked up.
Also, I guess he's trying to see like
if Mark
how strong Mark is.
Yeah. But in the comics, he's like not. He like left Earth like a while before that happened.
Oh, did him and Mark already fight in the comics?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's actually like one of the first things that happens in the comics.
Oh, okay.
Like other stuff happens, but almost every subplot in season 1 of this show actually happens after Omni-Man's gone.
Oh,
in the comics, that is.
Okay.
Because you notice a lot of the subplots, Omni-Man has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
That's because in the show or in the comics, he's gone already.
Okay.
So, also one thing I like about the show too is you were saying the Guardians of the Globe. That's probably my favorite fight is the Guardians of the Globe versus Omni-Man.
Well, especially because if you watch that whole first episode, there's nothing really like crazy violent that happens. It's like a lot of just like
no, it's a regular show.
Yeah, it's like regular like kind of like superhero. It's very like clean at first, and then the last 5 minutes is that fight, and then it just gets insanely gory, and you're like, whoa.
I don't think there's even any blood because I rewatched the first episode, and they're just fighting the Mauler clones, like twins.
Yeah, there's no blood, and also like they save everyone, no one gets hurt.
Yeah, they save every single person.
Yeah,
you know. But also in the I know I keep saying, gotta read the books. No, just watch the show. It's better. But in the comics, you don't see the Guardians of the Globe until
until he murders them.
Until he murders that. Like, you see him, like, for a second, like, doing, like, little things, and they get called in. And then he just murders them in, like, a single page. So you don't have any connection to them. In the show, you know, you get to know them a little bit before this all happens. You know, it's really good.
Damn.
But I think that's my favorite part. I like this show a lot, and I like it even more after reading the comics, because the comics are good, but they took that and made it into something better. And that, I feel like that never really happens.
Yeah.
It's always a degradation from source material.
Yeah, it's like from the source material, it never lives up to like what it is. Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if the Harry Potter movies were better than the books?
That'd be wild.
It seems like an impossible thing, right? Because the books are so good. That's kind of how this is. Somehow they like took it and they just made it like way better. You know, not way better, but because I don't want to shit on the source material, but it is
but
like,
you do enjoy the comics, right?
I like them.
Yeah,
they're definitely like have piqued my interest. You know, I'm on like comic 35. I just got them yesterday. But the show is just like so condensed, but in a way that somehow you get more character development in the show, but it's still condensed. I don't know how they pulled that off.
Okay, but
they did. Like, they added like stuff in, like that you can get to know Omni-Man a little better, get to know his mom a little better and stuff. I don't know, fucking awesome. So that's all I have to say about that, I guess.
Good show, yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes of it. You know, I
wonder what other voice actors they're gonna get.
Yeah,
they also have Seth Rogen as Alan the Alien.
Yep, he's also one of the executive producers.
Is he? That makes sense then.
Yeah. Seth Rogen, I think he does a lot of like comic book stuff, like comic book shows now. He's like attached to a lot of them.
I mean, I guess if you like, that's probably like something that like you would do, right? Like if you like were an actor or director for a while, like I just like produce like shit that you were interested in,
like cool. Yeah. You know, actually, you know what that makes me think of? I listened to another I started just listening to another podcast that a mutual friend of ours, Nate Bowman, told me about.
It's kind of fucked that you would listen to any other podcast.
I know, besides us, just on repeat.
That's what I do. Gets me going in the morning. It's my it's what gets me out of bed, you know?
Hearing us talk.
Yeah. And it puts me to bed at night too. It's full circle. But sorry, what were you saying?
No, there's this podcast I just started listening to. It's actually really cool. It's a horror podcast called The White Vault. And it's more like a radio show if you think about it, I guess. Because every episode it's like and it's kind of like it's almost like a found footage thing almost. Because the way it works is like they're talking about the events of this thing that happened out in this geological base out in the farthest northern part of Norway near the Arctic Circle. And a group of researchers that went out there to do like a basic like repair thing go missing. And it's like what essentially is like they're providing you like what evidence they have of everything that led up to that moment, essentially. And it's really cool. Each episode, and it's not very long. Each episode is like 20 to 30 minutes. So you can knock a couple out in like a long car ride, or like I listened to the whole first season yesterday while I was working, and it's really cool. But it got me thinking like do something like that maybe down the road or something. Not like an exact same thing, but like,
no, yeah. I was I was like thinking, you're like got me thinking like, what if this podcast was good? No.
Yeah, what if more?
Oh shit, these things could be like interesting. No,
but I thought like, what if like maybe like sometime later, like we work, because it's like, you know, it's like even like they do like, what's the right word? It's like they it's like very well produced and stuff. Like they work on like the sound effects and everything, like because it's all supposed to be like records from like video, like from like camcorders or like audio from like phones, and like everything sounds like. It's like in like an echoey like lab room and stuff. It's
really, all audio?
Yeah. It's really well done. And also it's like we found like journal entries and like written stuff that were found at the scene and everything. It's very, I don't know.
I mean, we'd have to do it about Papa John, but other than that, that's like the only like logistics I can think of. But no, I definitely would be down to do something like that.
You know, I was thinking maybe something,
especially this summer
down the line. I want to try
free
something. Yeah, because I don't know, even like doing like not even like horror based, but I don't know. I was thinking like maybe more of like a adventuring fantasy serial or something like that. Just like, I don't know. I thought it'd be cool just to try something like that. But,
Yeah.
But I like I mean, if anyone's into like horror, like a horror podcast or something, The White Vault. I think the first 2 seasons are about this winter base because I'm on the 2nd season right now. And I think seasons 3 and 4 are a different, like a separate case. But it's really cool. I thought the idea was like super interesting. I wanted to tell you about it, but I also figured tell other people.
I can't say
about
no
it.
because you say it on the podcast. I do that all the time. No, I'm definitely down.
And yeah, I think it's cool for like if you have like a long car ride because each episode's so short, you could like listen to the whole thing in like one go.
That's pretty cool.
You know,
but yeah, I mean, we have a lot of cool things coming up too. I know we wanted to work on the short episodes more too and stuff like that.
Yeah, we want to do that.
Once we have a little more free time.
Yeah.
And I know like people who are listening right now, we've been like a little inconsistent with like the uploads the past couple weeks, but this has been like an insane month for both of us.
Tell them about your life. You
My
got some
life,
cool stuff.
Oh, I got a job, like a job for the first time in my life.
Dope. Yeah.
I mean, I've been working since I was 15, but I actually got a job in technology. Finally, that I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
Found out the other day. So that starts next month.
Yeah, no. I'm super excited for you because you're finally. It's like this is like more in your field, you know.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm like 23 and I've been serving tables my entire life, basically. I mean, like not my entire life, but since I was 15, I've worked in the food industry. That's all I've ever known. And even like during the interview, I was like, oh my god, like they probably want me to say like all this technical stuff, but I can only tell stories about like working in like food and stuff because it's the only thing I know really. Yeah. But then also I was like, well, I literally go to school for this, so I know what I'm like. I know the stuff
exactly. Yeah,
I just don't work on it in my personal life really, you know. But it is pretty surreal. Like everything in like 3 weeks, I'm gonna start like actually,
and like everything you've been going to like school for. It's like finally like
yeah. I mean, I've been going to school. It's taking so long because I've been going to school part-time, only taking like 1 or 2 classes a semester for like the past couple of years now because I've also been working and stuff to pay for school. So it's definitely taking me a lot longer to get this degree than I anticipated, but it's pretty cool though. Finally getting into it.
Applying everything that you finally learned and stuff. That's pretty cool.
So that's why I mean, you had the surgery.
Yeah, my tail surgery.
Sorry, I couldn't remember if we talked about it on the podcast or not. We did.
Yeah, we talked about it when we first came back. Yeah, that's why there was that week gap there. Because I got cut open.
Yeah, and then
they cut me.
I had the interview that one day, and then
you're at your parents for your dog watching.
Yeah, and then I just have been having finals and shit like that. So it's been a crazy time, but we appreciate everyone listening and sticking with us. And we're going to definitely get back on a more regular schedule.
Yeah. Whatever that may be.
Next week. Yeah, even if we have to change the day to a different day or something like that, we'll
figure it out, yeah.
But we'll definitely be doing it at least one a week.
Yeah.
Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, but most likely Tuesdays going forward.
Probably, yeah.
But you can find us on Instagram at Tabletop Tonic. Mm-hmm. And then our website, tabletoptonic.com.
Yep.
YouTube, Tabletop Tonic. Okay, you find us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We have listeners on CastBox now. I didn't know that was a thing. Shout out to you people. And that's it. Find us wherever you want to.
Thanks for joining. Yeah, thanks for always listening, guys. We really do appreciate it.
We love you. Shout out to our Brazilian and our German listeners. Yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you for speaking English because this podcast will never be translated.
Or maybe they're like learning English through listening. That
is the worst idea I have ever heard. I barely can even speak English.
Yeah. That's our first language.
Yeah, it's my first language. I can't even can barely handle it. Can't imagine doing 2. But thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. We appreciate it. And
we out.
We out.